Well, this one is going to be fun. So, loyalty to a nation. What is it? What does it look like? And should you hold the idea in a high regard? To start out, we should define a country or state or whatever your preferred word is. Time to DuckDuckGo it, and according to Merriam-Webster, a country is a political state or nation or its territory. A good definition, but we need to go a little bit deeper. For the sake of the argument, I will put forth the idea that there are 4 different ways to define a nation. The land, the people, the ideals, and the leadership. The land is obvious. It is the land that the country claims and controls. The people can be further segmented into the race of the people or the citizens of the country. The ideals of a country would be its culture, its laws, and other such things. It is what those within the country believe in and will fight for. The leadership is simple. It is who controls the government. Now, I would like to tell you just outright if you should be loyal or not, but believe it or not, it is rather complex. I think we need to go even deeper and hit all the 4 points individually. To start, I don't think that there is much of a case when it comes to land alone. Sure, you can have people on the land that have the same culture, but if those people aren't actually there, then it's just some dirt. I believe you should not be loyal to land alone. Geography and borders are changing all the time, so it would not be the biggest deal if some uninhabited land was taken from your country if no one cared about it and there are no resources. Something like Beer to Wilm. Look it up if you're interested. The people is where it gets interesting. First off, you can go the ethnic path and say that all those of so-and-so ethnicity belong to so-and-so country. Therefore, we will now be taking this land from you due to the ethnic background of the people. I very much do not like this line of thought. Sure, they may be of the same ethnicity, but that does not necessarily mean that they are of the same ideals. The other side of the people coin are the citizens. What they are does not matter much to what they see themselves as, and they see themselves as being part of the country which they now lie within. No matter the background of themselves nor family, they are the nationality, not the ethnicity. The ideals of the nation would be things like law, the founding documents, the culture, the thoughts that the nation's culture builds and forms. It is what the population says is moral and what is repulsing. It is the shared identity of being that nation. The leader, in my eyes, would be nothing but that, a leader. The leader is not the state, though he may think himself as. Flat out, you should not be loyal to a leader, or any political figure. Whether you like them or not, do not treat leaders as someone you should give loyalty to. They are only human, and they make mistakes, and they very well may have less than pure intentions. If you give yourself to a foolish man, you will be blinded from his ills and fall off the cliff with him. Now that I have given some ways that one would define a nation, I will say that my interpretation would be that of the people and the ideals. You see, if a country has no citizens, is it really a country? I would say no, but that's a small, minute factor. I fully believe in the consent of the governed, and that means that the ones in power are there because the people say they could be. The people are what forms the country. That's why I say that the people are one of the 2 things that define a nation. The other is the ideals, or the culture of the nation or people. The unifying factor of the people within a country is a shared belief structure. If we are to get along, then we are going to need a foundation that we can agree on, and then move on from there to find the best action for the country. Now, I'm not saying that we all need to agree on everything. No. We need only that foundation. If some other culture, some other foundation is to be introduced to the system, everything will go out of whack. We need at the least a shared understanding of the world to form together and create a nation. Now, with the definition that I have given, that a country is the people and culture, not the land nor leaders, the oldest countries no longer exist. The people and the culture change everywhere. For an example, I can use Japan. Japan as a country has existed on paper since 660 BC. Now, I do not know a lot about Japanese culture from 660 BC to 1603, but I'm sure it was a good bit different. How different? I do not know, but I really do not want to look into something that isn't even the main example. I don't know a whole lot about the culture in those times, so I'm just going to jump to Japan in 1603 to 1868, the age of isolation. Side tangent over. From what I have gathered, the culture from 1603 to 1868 wasn't significantly different, so I would say that Japan from 1603 to 1868 is the same country. However, Japan from 1868 to the 1930s and 40s is not the same country. The people may have been the same, but the culture was, in my opinion, different enough to not be considered the same Japan, mainly to do with Japan becoming much more imperialist due to Western influences, and the Shinto religion that would worship the emperor as a god. And Japan from 1945 to today is much, much more different, so they are even less the same country. Now that I have given my rationale for what a country is or should be defined as, the big question now comes up. Should you be loyal to it? From my opinion, I would say yes, for the most part. To be more specific, I would say to be loyal to your fellow countrymen and the culture of your people. And by people, I mean those with the same foundational understanding of life, not race. Though you still must think of yourself as an individual. You should not allow yourself to fall into group mentality. You still must think for yourself. That's why I put for the most part at the beginning of this. Start with being loyal, but you must think if the people and culture are actually worth defending and fighting for. Now, of course, no culture will be perfect, and you should weed out the bad and corrupted parts of your culture if possible. But if you can't, find a new culture or modify the one you are in. But that in and of itself is a rabbit hole I truly do not wish to go down. I have given you my opinion and rationale to the question, and now I ask that you give me yours down below. It would be greatly appreciated. Now, take care.